my name is Hannes, I'm a full-time filmmaker and hobby FPV pilot, and in this video I want to quickly show you all the gear that I'm going to be using in 2021 for my FPV flights and adventures. So let's go! Almost 1 year ago I decided to get into FPV drones, and ever since then I've upgraded a lot of parts and some gear, and today I want to show you my current setup that I'm using for this year right now to get all my shots, and it's already my third drone actually. Some things stayed the same from the last update that I gave here on YouTube, but other parts have changed. If you find some things confusing and don't understand a whole lot, feel free to ask me questions below. And if you want to check out any of the gear, I will leave links below. Quickly go through it and don't waste any more time. It's a little dirty here, as you can see, because I've been out flying today and it was very muddy. Well, first up, let's start with my backpack. This is an Endurax backpack. It's not an FPV backpack, or not meant to be used for FPV especially. It's a camera backpack, but I've removed all the camera stuff and now it works great. I usually attach my drone here on the side and I put everything else inside. So yeah, that's the backpack. Let's open this up. In this backpack I have a smaller bag, this one, where I keep my radio and my goggles. Ever since I started I've been using this radio, the FSky Taranis QX7. I really like this radio, it has everything that I need. I've had some issues with the connection and my drone would just fly out of the air because it lost connection. So recently I decided to get myself the famous TVS Crossfire long range system. This can go up to 40 kilometers I think. So super long range, but I still haven't been using it because I have an issue with my Crossfire receiver. With FPV it's never going to work out right away. This is an external thing for the radio. You just put it in there and then you have this and you put the receiver into your drone and you can fly super far. So that's pretty cool. Let's put that away. For the goggles I'm using these old Fat Shark Dominator goggles. They still work pretty well. This is an analog goggle and I've bought the rapid fire receiver model, which I really like. This works great. And I have the shield antenna, which now I'm thinking of changing because this gives great signal but only in front of you in a degree like that. And it does not really give great signal, video signal if you're behind or around you. I power them with this 3S LIPO and that works great. Next up, let's come to the biggest thing that I've changed since the last FPV gear video, which is the drone. This is my new drone. This is a custom built drone. I've decided to not get a ready to fly drone because I really wanted to understand how to build the drone so that if ever something breaks, which happens in FPV, I know how to replace it, because I understand quite a lot about these things now, and that's definitely a more tactical approach to FPV, I think. So if you're interested in all the different parts, I'm going to link them as I've said, but I'm quickly going to talk about it. The frame is a iFlight 5-inch frame, 5-inch props. Then I have this TBS antenna for the video, which is super cool because it stands away from the quad quite a bit, which I think helps with getting better signal. Now I have this super cool 3D printed GoPro mount, which works great to get some vibrations away with this sort of like thing. And I have these iFlex Zing motors. These are 1800 kV motors. kV, I don't know how to say it, but basically they are motors for 6S batteries. And this build is meant to be flown with 6S batteries. So before that I used to have a 4S drone, and now I have a 6S, and there's definitely some more power there. And it's just better to fly 6S nowadays. So this drone is like super fast and it is very aggressive. I feel like that's the right word. For everyone that's seen my dilemma with losing drones, now I have a built-in P-pod that has an external battery. In case I lose the drone and the battery gets disconnected, this will start to peep for a little while, for like 1 or 2 days I think. And when it comes to the electronics, the stacks, I have everything from iFlight. I have a lot from iFlight. I really like the company, but I basically have the iFlight Success, I think is the name, F4 stack. Video Center, the VTX, is the iFlight Success also. I don't know the name, but it works great. It goes up to 800 milliwatts, I think. That's enough. Here these things are the antennas from the receiver that I currently have in there. This is the FSky XL, I don't know the name, but it's the receiver for the Taranis, and that's what I'm currently have in there. And the camera lastly is a CAD Ratel, I guess, I don't really know the name, but it's pretty cool camera. And as you can see, the whole drone has a red theme. So the motors are red, this is red, the camera is red, and everything is pretty red. So as I've said before, with this drone I'm using 6S batteries. I still have my 4S batteries from the older drone, which most of them I destroyed by flying the drone way too long and just crashing too often. So now I have these Gens, is the company name, 1250 mAh, 6S batteries. I have 3 of these so far. I need to get some more, but they work great, super powerful. Before I stopped making YouTube videos and basically quit this channel, I used the Osmo Action a lot, which if you are a core fan of this channel, you might know what happened to that. Then I used the Insta360 a lot, the One R with the action cam module and the 360 thing. And now, like half a year ago, I decided to get the GoPro Hero 8, which I'm using ever since then. This is a great camera, really like it, and this just slides in there in front like this, and that works out great because there's no extra weight or something like that, and it stabilizes perfectly. The GoPro Hero 8 is a perfect camera for FPV. Something that I should definitely mention is to stabilize my FPV footage I use Real Steady Go, which is the best software for FPV videos. It costs like 60 bucks or something like that, but it's worth every penny. I can make a whole video around that if you're interested. But basically you shoot with the GoPro in a 4:3 aspect ratio and you turn off all the internal stabilization. Then you put the file into Real Steady, and with gyro stabilization it will smooth out the footage and it looks just super smooth all the time. It takes a little bit of render time, but it's definitely worth it if you want to get great results. The main thing that I've changed between when I started FPV to nowadays is I've decided to learn a little bit more about the topic, so all about LIPOs, electronics, and just some basic principles, because I just wanted to understand what I'm doing, and in case I have a problem, which happens often, I want to understand what it is, and that is the only way to really do FPV in my opinion currently. Because if you're adding a pre-built quad, the first time you crash it and something is broken and you don't know what it is or how to repair it, you are lost, and that is why most people also quit, and I almost quit back then when that happened. But then I decided to approach it by really studying the basics, and now I feel very comfortable with my gear. I know what everything is doing and how I can repair it. And so I still have some smaller things left that I got recently that helped me with my FPV stuff, so let's show that. Always in my bag I bring this voltage checker now. This is super cool. I use this thing for checking battery voltage. This is super handy. I did not have this in the past. Just did never look at how empty or how full the battery was. Nowadays I just plug in my battery like that, and I see this has 3.9 volts per cell. I can highly recommend something like this. I've had this before, but I still want to show it. This is my LIPO guard. This just keeps my LIPO safe and makes sure that I don't burn my backpack or something like that. Next up I have this super cool landing pad. I've realized that flying FPV in winter where there's snow everywhere is not that cool, because every time I land in the snow something doesn't work anymore because of the water and everything. So I got this super cool landing pad. Whoop! This just folds out like this and then you can land in this, super cool. Obviously I have something to sit on if we go out to fly. I have this little mat here. Then I have some tools that come in handy when you're outside. I have this in case a propeller breaks because of a crash, I can change it. And then I have this Team Black Sheep toolkit, screw toolkit. These are just a bunch of screws that you can use. In here I have extra propellers, as I've said, and some extra stuff, a camera strap, an antenna cable, and some random stuff like that. I always bring these USB cables. I think at some point you might always need them. And then I have this is a super cool tool. The product is called SpeedyB, and this plugs into your drone, and then you can enter into Betaflight, which is this software that almost everyone uses to change the settings for their drone and set up the drone. Before that I could only enter here at home when I was on my computer, but now I can enter outside when I'm on my phone. You just put in a LIPO and then you put this into your flight controller. And that way you can change your drone settings outside, and that is often very useful when you need to change something quickly outside. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. That is all the gear that I use. I'm really excited about FPV recently. I really enjoy flying. I just like it. It's sort of like a hobby that I've started with another intention. I originally just wanted to get cool FPV cinematic shots, but nowadays I just really like flying because it's fun and I like to hang out with my friend that also flies. If you're thinking about getting into it but there's something stopping you, like some technical issue, something like that, feel free to DM me at any times on Instagram. I can help you out if you want. I know that this is not the most creative or best video today, but I just lost so much inspiration to make these YouTube videos here. Recently I said myself, if I want to start YouTube again, I don't want to put so much pressure on myself and think that every video needs to be the best video I've ever made, because that's not how it can work. I mean, you can't always go further and make better stuff. Sometimes you just have to do average stuff so that the good stuff can stand out again. But for now, this is the video that I wanted to do on this Saturday evening, and I really often don't understand why I lost the motivation so much for this channel. I just did not find a whole lot of motivation to do something here for the last 6 months, I would say. That being said, if you have any interesting topics, especially on FPV, that you would like me to cover or talk about here on the channel, feel free to leave that below, because if someone has cool ideas, we can definitely do that and get some cool videos here on the channel uploaded. And yeah, I hope that I will not lose my community here. We are almost 5,000 people now. Maybe by the time that I upload this, the channel is 5,000 people large. And I hope that some of you maybe start FPVing and find a little bit of pleasure in that, because I've done that and I think others might do as well. So all of that being said, thank you so much for tuning into this video today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will hopefully see you then in my next video. Have a great day, night or whatever. Peace. Tschüss.